Welcome, welcome to the Willis Podcast. How you do? How are you guys doing, ladies and gentlemen? I promise you. Um, I wasn't gonna come on tonight, but I said I think I got to because there's some touching things that's been going on in the world. How we've been getting down, how everything has been formulating. I think I had to say, let me talk. Uh, the problem is in society right now. We're at this sort of a flux. You know what I'm saying? It's like a what we can do, what we might do, what we won't do. Everybody's so comfortable. Everybody's so okay with everything. Yeah, for real. Very okay with everything and what's going on and how. But are we really? I think we're cocooned. We're not okay with everything. We're not okay with nothing. But we're kind of cocooned. Everybody's sort of practicing a form of, I would say, self-reflection and sort of protecting yourself. Everybody's kind of coping. Yeah, that's a proper term. Coping. Coping. Everybody's in a form of coping. But when we talk about what you shoulda, coulda, and woulda done, you know, that's a whole nother kind of situation because it's the cost of forgetting who you are. You know what I'm saying? So it's the reason why everybody's in a flux is because of is what's going on. Nobody's familiar with this type of living, the cost of living, and everything that comes to do with how we're living, and everybody's in a flux, and that's survival mode for most people in all sorts. It's survival mode. So if you're in survival mode, what do? You kind of cocoon yourself, go into a place of refuge. Some people are just you know getting through the day. But let's figure out a way to get past, just to try to get past through the day, because most of the times when it comes to a person trying to get past through the day, they're trying to figure out, damn, what did they cause on themselves? What did they cause themselves? What decisions that they made for themselves. And I mean, it's like a realization that's going around, but even people that are even in highfalutin positions are paying that cost. If you think about it, like, okay, like, let's take rich people like young stars, NBA players. Shit. Victor Wembanyama. Oh man. Little nasty attitude, right? Just doesn't have good sportsmanship. No, 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 no. He's really not American. And his customs are different, and his mannerisms are a little different, and he's a little he gonna have to learn. Man, I don't even understand I don't even think people understand what he's setting himself up for when he has that type of behavior. Like when we talk about customs, right? Shoulda, coulda, woulda. You are 7 foot 4, 5, or 6. You're frail, but you don't like playing in the post. Why we know that? Because Carl Anthony Towns uh, kind of showed you how what it means to be a big man. You was frail and you ain't have the ability to do it, so you start going crazy, shooting threes. You grew up. You came in the season like, I've learned something new. I've studied with the monks and all of this. So okay, but your behavior right now, they would be so extremely disappointed at you, Victor. Wimby, they'll be like, nah, man, you didn't distribute nothing that you should have learned to take you through the season. Everything you did was arrogant, um, bad sportsmanship. You kind of You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you're a horrible player. You no, but your sportsmanship and your whole mindset of this whole game is like you just you're just gonna appear in the finals the next year. Like for real? I got 100 more games. There's 82 games in the season. You said I got 100 more. What? Now, see, you getting up at the wrong start, Wimby. Like you tripping. And you tripping for a couple of reasons. For one is you're not guaranteed. For two, your health got to hold up. You're kind of fragile. You're a little fragile, Wimby. So for you to think that this is just a shoe in for you to get into the next finals, it's like, man, you're a little whack for that. Anyway, I had to use that as an example because people literally try to live their life that way, and I think it's a little reckless. And he's young. Wimby's a young fella. He's gonna learn, but I mean, you're gonna be gone for it, buddy. You know what I'm saying? You've done a lot of dirty things in the league. I mean, you a villain. Uh, let's see how you come out of it. But at the end of the day, man, you kind of rubbed a lot of people the wrong way because you're young and you got so far to go. And let's just give it up to Jalen Brunson. Let's just give it up to you mush the man head and you kind of treat black American players like trash, like you did that with you elbowed Nas Reed in the face, you mush Jalen Brunson. I mean, Jalen Brunson said, "Oh, okay." Jalen Brunson called your ass. I would say, I'm finna score on you, big boy. I'm finna do you in. And the best medicine in the world is like I heard him on ESPN. Everybody kind of recognized what it was with salute to Jalen Brunson. Everybody knew what it was. Jalen Brunson ain't had no quit in him. Wimby got broken. I loved it. Anyway, it's great. I think Wimby is going to win a championship. I hope he matures, but right now it's going to be hard to beat a lot of. I don't think height is going to be a big factor from here on out, and I'm going to tell you why. Because Jalen Brunson just showed you how you can break down and beat a big, and Michael Jordan showed you it. I mean, Kobe Bryant showed you it. I mean, D Wade, everybody showed you how you can break a big because you faster than them. The more they have, is a person getting in their mind, you would think a big has all these weapons and all these different um, weapons against a smaller person that's and it's, especially it's the big, it's agile like Wimby. So the mind tells you uh, this is impossible, man. But if y'all seen this, y'all I don't do biblical stories too much, but I will tell you, that's the story of David and Goliath. So that some people can identify even with children, because I think the biblical stories are childlike stories, but I think David and Goliath is a great. But the thing is, not so much because they had a team and Carl Anthony Towns kind of like kicked Wimby ass the whole series. Like he broke him down. He ain't making want to go down low. He ain't making one because he couldn't handle that strength. You know what I'm saying? So well, Jalen. I'm just talking about the variable or the methodology of it all. But the picture that the media paints, that's just what it is. So anyway, we're gonna keep going on. All right. We spend enough time on women getting his ass kicked and Jalen Brunson. Salute to Jalen Brunson. Yeah, for sure. Salute to the New York Knicks, but as a team, because they was a perfect team when it counted every time throughout this whole series. So you got to salute the New York Knicks and appreciate them for their supreme accomplishments. That's an American. I mean, that's for America, for real, for real. New York is a beacon of America, and for those that love America still, even with our trying destructive, we ain't even got the best look right now. We kind of look like shit to the world, but New York Knicks won a championship, so I'm gonna salute to my New York Knicks, and America has a chance for us to feel good about ourselves as Americans because the New York Knicks beat a Frenchman and the team, young teams, great team. Spurs is a great team, man. Y'all gonna win something, man. It's gonna happen, man. But y'all this wasn't y'all time. This just wasn't what it was, and you gotta get at what it is. But anyway, okay, we got more to do on the show. I'm sorry. I know we got more to do on the show, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. I'm be trying to hold you long these days for sure. So anyway, okay. Uh, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Many communities believe that their contributions have been overlooked, misinterpreted, or forgotten. Whether discussing indigenous peoples of the Americas, African descended people of other groups throughout history, and the challenge in becoming it's beginning to be frustrating. But there's a purpose behind all of this. You understand what I'm saying? There's a purpose behind it. We talk about should we have been recognized and what should we have accomplished in history and unfolded differently? What was lost through conflict, colonization, and division? What can still be accomplished throughout knowledge, unity, family, economics, and education? But let's keep going a little further. Okay, so what I really want you to understand, everybody got to understand what has to do with coulda, woulda, shoulda. A shoulda, coulda, woulda, a story. We should have done this. We should have done this. We could have done that. We would have been here. We hadn't done this to us or each other globally as a family. Or are we a family, or have we always been globally, but we're cut off from our global family? So we're gonna dive a little deep into this. Let's talk about it. See, the trap of shoulda, coulda, woulda. Dwelling into the past can become a prison. But what if you never actually dwelled in the past that you knew that was there that you never discovered or knew of? So historical wounds are real, they are, but unfairness is real too. Misrepresentation is real, but staying trapped in resentment produces nothing. Let me explain. Um, there are a lot of uh, people that are starting to act like they resent Black Americans for, being who we are and standing up for who we are and representing ourselves properly as we supposed to. And I think that's a misnomer for a lot of people from a so-called diaspora, and I call it just melanated people globally. We're people that's been global, and there's never been a diaspora. There's just Black people that's been all over the world since the beginning. They created a diaspora by saying that all Blacks are out of Africa, which was an extremely bad misnomer. And that is the specific thing that caused a lot of resentment through melanated people globally, simply because it puts somebody on top. And it says just because you're the continent that has the most uh, Black people on it doesn't make you the dominant one, because last time everybody checked, every continent, no continent had any white people on it until they conquered it. It was just so happened, or no whitey or European, no European as kind of people on no continent until it was infiltrated by Europeans. So something had to be infiltrated. You understand what I'm saying? So an infiltration is meaning all continents were dominated by the Black Aboriginals or the copper colored, like from the Americas, anywhere else. That's where that come from. That's just making corrections. Okay, so the problem that we have is how long can people survive looking backwards without building forward? The thing is, discussion of many civilizations throughout America's contributions to agriculture, architecture, astronomy, Government systems is very big from the Americas, as well as trade, networks, and engineering. See, all of these were that's why they wanted the Americas so bad, simply because of those absolute facts. See what I'm saying? So um, rather than arguing who invented everything, let's ask the people who rarely taught the full complexity of indigenous civilizations. See, indigenous civilizations, we have to go back to the origins of crops. We can always go back to the origins of crops. So when we go to the origins of crops, it says the new world of maize, mortuary murals, mortuary murals. This is back in 1550 BC to 1064 BC. Ancient Egyptian maize from the Americas. But let's talk about it. One reason why all the pros who missed out on the diffusion of Mexico maize in the Egyptian is in Egypt is the most important site, the Queen's Temple, Deir el Bahari. It's way upriver from the usual tourist destination of Cairo, also called the Queen's Temple. Doja, Desi, the splendor of splendors, was not excavated until the early 1900s. This tremendously botanist Alphonse de Casdoli issued a doctrine pronouncement that there is no evidence of maize in ancient Egypt. He never saw one compelling evidence in which was excavated after he died, and thus his conclusion was entirely wrong. Actually, the Queen's Temple of Rosetta Stone, the maize, because the artistic standard of showing the new corn Osiris were set forth in Der el Bahari. Bahar, the new standard of maize cones and distinct yellow kernels, green husk, leaves, and repeated in the tombs of Benia, Pahankamin, A above left, 1450 BC. This is only 20 years after the Queen's Temple was built. We see symbolism of maize, ears, and similar husk leaves in the same position beneath the table in the tomb mural of Synodengem. Be right. The patterns, and I'm going to show you the guy. They have visuals. The later artisan chose to give the corn of Osiris a more elegant appearance. More artists never saw the corn plants as the pharaoh's grain was raised in exclusive gardens. And they also have the references if you can see them. Check it out. This is from the Americas. And I have to show you things like that because it's very, very important that you understand where cultivation of agriculture and those type of apparatuses come from the Americas. So credit and capacity. Credit is nice. Capacity is better. Even if one steals your story, they cannot steal your ability to create another one. See, the thing is, we are seeking validation. But for first and foremost, we can still do. See, the things that still have been done of why in the Americas, why we created so much of everything. It's just the reason why you don't understand and have the capacity to gather these things is because the world lied to you. The world lied to you in an immense capacity, in such an immense capacity that you have to even intrinsically fight through what you thought you knew that you didn't know that you have to learn again. Those are the facts of the whole situation and conclusions of the situation for yourself. But I wasn't gonna hold you long tonight. I just wanted to bring up some points to you. Understand this. Maybe your ancestors didn't get all the credit they deserve. Maybe many stories were lost. Maybe history is more complicated than we've ever been taught. And I can show you how, and easily. And I always bring up this book. I ain't brought it up in a lot of episodes, but this is a good one. This is a very good one. This is a very good book right here. And it gives you so many actual credible images that are in places that are global, around the globe, around the whole globe, dispelling the whole misconceptions. And it gives a lot of commentary about the dispelling of the misconceptions about everything when it comes to Black Americans that exist here and how much we have been, under this specific psychosis. But check this out. Let me read you something here. This is by Truth Ali. Psychosis. The unnatural condition, a deflection of the mind causing disorientation, thinking, and superficial emotions created by schemes, with various forms of complex behavioral and personal disorders stemming from the traumas of colonization, to be alienated from one's culture, detached from reality, and to suffer cultural amnesia. Each casualty becomes psychologically impaired to the extent that they even been induced into self resentment. The victim is prone to reject, deny, or dismiss their own identity, lineage, past, or parent culture. The inability to identify with their relationship to their culture, thus separating themselves, interpreting their culture from a foreign third party perspective. That's the show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you tuning into the Wilderness Podcast. Thank you so much. I will be going more into these specific parables, these specific shows and variables. But I need us to understand. I have to read you from things that really affect us and really keep us from looking forward and not backwards. But we have to have that perspective. We have to see what we have made it through, how far we can go, and that only comes from having a mindset to grow. Anyway, I love you. I appreciate you. And thank you for tuning into the Wilderness Podcast. You have been great. I love you and I thank you. And I appreciate you. Keep subscribing, keep sharing, and keep putting the word out for the Wilderness Podcast. That's what we're here for. We're here to grow together. We're here to learn together. And we're here to keep this train moving. That's what we got to do. But anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I love you. Also, I'm very into collaborations. If you guys, I'm at the point that I want to really collab, and I really want to be in. We really got to do some things. So anyway, thank you guys. I appreciate you again, and keep tuning into the Willis Podcast. We got more for you. Thank you so much, and don't forget, this is my favorite part of the show. The wheel is yours. Be cool, be easy, and always be peaceful. Be easy, peace.